Well, 1917 took the top spot at the box office this weekend.
Matt Perrin shares his take on the film in your Monday Movie Musings.
Welcome to another Monday. The Rise of Skywalker was finally dethroned from the top spot at the box office. There were 4 new wide releases this weekend. One of them was a clear-cut winner, while the other 3 were blips on the radar. I really wanted to see Just Mercy, but with the Golden Globe winner of Best Picture also expanding into wide release, I couldn't pass it up, especially with Oscar nominations coming out today. So without any further ado, let's have a look at Sam Mendes' World War I picture and see if it lived up to the hype. Here's my take on 1917. Our movie begins in the titular year of 1917. Blake and Schofield are 2 lance corporals fighting in World War I, played by Dean Charles Chapman and George McKay, respectively. Blake has a brother fighting in the second, and they are about to charge the German forces that they believe to be retreating, but it's actually a trap. Blake and Schofield are tasked with delivering a message to stop the attack and save 1,600 men. Of course, there's a time crunch, and they have to travel through what was recently the German front line. They start their journey, and through musical and camera accompaniment, the suspense builds immediately. The horrors of war are shown all around, yet not highlighted. They are just part of everyday life for these young soldiers. The 2 have to push through numerous obstacles on their way, many times facing death head-on. For all the progress they make, there are pitfalls around every turn. As the movie progresses, we see the mission progress as well. All the while, we are completely invested, living this mission in real time as an active participant. We see both camaraderie and conflict. We see that these boys fighting and dying in this war didn't even necessarily know why they were there or what they were fighting for. We as the audience are immersed in this story, thrilled with the triumphs and sucking wind during the scenes of adversity. One thing is for sure, this is a white-knuckle ride to the finish, to the point that you actually feel the direness of what these characters are going through. So, what to say about this one? First off, I actually wasn't looking forward to seeing this. I'm not the biggest fan of war movies, and even though people look at me weird, I didn't like Dunkirk at all. Watching this movie, though, is completely different. Even though it takes place during World War I and all the action is war-related, I would classify this as a time-is-ticking suspense film. There is some brutality in it, but nothing that touches that first scene of Saving Private Ryan that we can all remember where we were when we first saw that. So definitely not the gore I was expecting. No, what makes this movie stand out is that it is filmed to be one complete unbroken shot. We have all seen unbroken shots in movies like Old Boy, Atomic Blonde, or the opening scene in Skyfall, also directed by Sam Mendes. But this is a 2-hour-long, real-time movie in which you are trapped with these characters. There are no edits. There is no looking away. You are with them the whole way, for better or for worse, and that is what makes this movie great. You have real stakes in it, and with myself working behind camera as well, it's almost exhausting imagining them filming this because of the real-time aspect. Some may feel the film drags, but our young actors keep you invested with their realistic but sometimes mundane conversations. The major players in this film are relatively unknown, with some major actors popping up for just a handful of minutes, but the cast does an amazing job. All in all, this was a much better movie than I was expecting. It definitely deserves the Oscar nod, and I think Mendes will be very tough to beat for Best Director. This has been your Monday Movie Musing. Back to you.
And coming up, Tyler has one last look at that forecast.
ABC Columbia's News at Noon continues in just a few moments.